I believe you were talking about starting your own business. Have you got any tips for playing lead guitar under vocals? I always try and be considerate. Sometimes I just don't know what to play without breaking into a solo in the middle of a verse. Number one, consider it for yourself. So the conversation with the vocalist is probably the best thing. And it reminds me a lot of the Champions. Bear with me. Starts off, you know, the guitar builds through it. By the end, Brian is playing quite a lot on the vocals on both sides. As the lead parts build. The way Brian was doing it was not necessarily in response to exposure you're trying to be more instant and the phrase that I now because I'm so inspired by reactive and and it becomes this thing that's like, it's just great, and that's all about this. Yeah, there you go. Somebody here said, learn the melody, says Jimmy D. Yeah, that's a really good shout. Yeah. Play a nice tonic, a bit sympathetic with the vocals. I'll play fire strings to one. I tell you what, I'm going to do a video on this because I found this fascinating. I was watching a video of Chris Buck listening to him play and thinking, yeah, just the memories getting right? I remember him saying, let's listen to I went back and listened to other guitar players, and it's like if you know, it's really great to be able to do all stuff, but if you can't play a single melody and like that, I remain not good at that, and I remember you are good at that. I remember realising I couldn't pick up anything on the guitar. So what I did was, the guitar always used to be playing things like because they're usually not odd melodies that are really produced. Nearly all the melodies are what? Exactly. So it's really great to be able to do all that stuff. What we want to do is be musical, especially our song. Now, make work. Pick your favourite melody. Put it in the song you like. And I'm play it, I'm tap, just a melody. And make it. Because there's so much, you know, we've got these frets and we go. But there's, when you hear a vocal, and you know all that stuff that there's and the frets and the things. That is that all. Well, that's just the tip of yeah, but that's a really, you know, that is such an important thing.
Mitch Etchison, do you have an experience with the amp from Portland? If so, how does it compare with the Series from Victory? It's similar, I mean, the V4 Series from Victory. The V4 Series from Victory also has a lot more gain in it. But I think it's bass cut switch somewhere.
But that's it. Yeah. But the important thing to know is what we're doing now. Everything is analog. All that stuff. Anything that we need to change the right to
I'm trying to push it as far down the line before we before there's any ADA, conversion. And that is simply because the more straight analog recorded tones I hear, the more I like them. Now, we don't have tape. There's no way we can record all analog all the way. It's just not cost effective. But what I found by pushing the digital as far down the chain as we possibly can is we get less. And that's a good thing. Yeah. And it's not necessarily about it being digital. It's important to say this. It's about the headroom of the device you're again. No, we got one from Jim Leininger. Jim says, please consider doing a self-recording of this show. Oh, completely doesn't. Including new game changer business.
Yeah. So, bit of a name drop. I had a meeting with Dan Heaton. I had a meeting with last week. We were talking about, because they're doing, there's a bathroom. I was in London. And his tech used to work at Game Changer Oil. And we had a really fantastic conversation.
So he's got
about
it
Game
in there
Changer.
tonight, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Meeting with the human league?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway,
The Scottish Wind Insulator. Very fancy.
if there was a blue moon, which you got to confuse with Blue Monday. There's a blue moon happens when the full moon happens twice in a calendar month, which is very rare. It happens once every 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Where the term "Once the blue moon" comes from.
Okay.
Or unless there happens to be an actual blue moon, where you have things like ash particles in the air that block the red part of the light so that the moon appears to be blue. That makes sense. Blue Monday, blue moon.
Well, it could have been a wonderful coincidence.
Could have been.
Yeah.
I have to have a look.
I felt very blue yesterday, did you?
Felt fantastic.
Yeah, me too. So, for those of you who didn't feel so good yesterday, and on any day, we hope you feel better.
Yeah.
Right, Georgia says Brent Belt. Sean Mitchell says, what up from Perth, Australia at 1 AM? Is that early or is that late? I don't know. Hello from Vienna, Austria, says Marcel K. Dustin Thiessen. Morning, lads. Cheers from a blizzardy Winnipeg.
You keep going.
Yeah. I love the Clean Tone Show. Greetings from Forest Grove, Oregon, says Tim Chalmers.
Thank you. Oregon. Gotta get there one day. It just seems so beautiful.
Joseph Urbanowski says, is it remotely possible to get a good tone from an 8-inch speaker? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, it does. It won't sound big and fat and massive and huge, like one of Mr. Dumble's creations. But, you know, recorded in a track. What was the speaker in the D key?
Yeah, it was small. Was it a 10-inch?
Don't know. Pretty small. Brian May's amp that he mixed with his AC30.
You put enough 8-inch speakers into a cab.
Yeah.
A bass cab.
A 50 by 8 cab.
There you go.
Yeah. And of course, Logic would dictate that it was 25 speakers high and 2 wide.
Indeed, yeah, indeed. Prof Salty says, hello from Kansas City. And Bjorn Rodvalassen says, good evening from Norway.
Norway.
Indeed.
B-side, greetings from Birmingham, Alabama, USA.
Farewell Apollo. Happy noon from Canada. Canada.
Wade Summers, greetings from cold and blustery Southampton, Connecticut.
John Channing, hello from Chile, London. How are you? John, Chile. Chile is the word.
Yeah. It was beautiful this morning.
It's stunning. But I can't walk between 2 buildings without going. When
up the hill, which was just a magic. Morning, James from sunny Yuma, Arizona. The lights, hello from York. I nearly said New York, but York. Watcher, really love. supporters. And I think she used to be like, so I pulled up the picture of the commitments thinking it was the one on the left. And it's the one in the middle. So she was in the commitments. But I was thinking of the wrong person.
Oh my word, that's amazing.
Yeah, I forget her name. Anyway, it's good. Anyway, Jack McDonald says, hope that's right, Jack. Where's Chilton? Heyo, gentlemen. Hello from sunny Tucson, Arizona, says M69.
Scott Taylor says it's sunny and 60 in PBC GM. What's that mean?
BBC GM.
Paolo Balto Genetic.
Greater Manchester.
Perfect.
Yeah. Is he thinking any states that are GM? Georgia's GA. Someone will pipe in for sure.
Greenwich Village.
Long Island, New York, reporting for duty, says Zoot alors. Okay, I think we need to start answering questions.
Apparently Marcus Reeves and Robert Keeley are in the comments.
Ah, Robert, hello.
We caught up with Robert last week, which was wonderful.
We did.
It's really funny, because obviously we haven't travelled for a long time and we really miss all of our international things. We can't wait to be able to go there again, just come and hang, and we've got some really beautiful people that we're very close to, and we miss very much. Robert Keeley being one of them.
Yep, and it would be nice to get on a plane again. But funnily enough, I've been Slovenia again. Hi. Hey guys, and congrats for 300k.
Palm Beach County. Thank you very much. We appreciate 300k. We appreciate you appreciating 300k. Yeah, it's great.
Route 6. We've got from Mizoram, India. Route 6. Wow, it's a truly international affair tonight, and we're very pleased about that. So, or this morning, or today, wherever you are in the world.
Maybe Michigan.
Wonderful, so wonderful. A couple of thank yous before we get into the questions. One is to BV for always being there for us. BV, thank you so much. We normally go live on Monday. Today we're Tuesday because it was Dan Sam's birthday yesterday.
It was, and to everyone that sent Zach a happy birthday, thank you. It really made his day.
Yeah.
I think I almost caught a smile. For a 15-year-old lad,
hey,
that's
not
pretty
too bad.
good.
That's not too bad.
Pretty good. No, yeah. He had a wonderful day. So yeah, thank you everyone that sent him a birthday. That was really lovely.
Sorry, despite being very cold outside, it's very warm in here. So, thanks to everyone that's been to that pedal shop in the USA.
Yeah.
That pedal shop and bought stuff. It's a new thing that we're doing in the USA, and we're very grateful to everyone who's been there and bought pedals. So thank you.
Like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Check this out.
We've got a new furs in green and black. Marcus, you inspired this.
I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna put this back on because I'm really cold.
Yeah. Well, you are Australian.
Australia.
Marcus, you inspired this. We saw one of your Reeves Electro t-shirts with green and black like this, and we thought it looked cool, so we did it on Reeves first. Please go to Marcus's store and buy t-shirts as well. Happy days. Never having t-shirts. Right. Let us get into Los Super Chatte. We are here. First in today, I believe, was Carl Longbottom. Carl, thanks so much.
Oh, cheers, Carl.
Really good to hear from you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. He says, evening, gents. What are your thoughts on Firebird pickups? Are they best as a pair or mixed with different types of pickups? Your thoughts are always greatly appreciated.
So I contacted my dear friend before Christmas, Dave, who was in the band with Teen Spirits, Mr. Dave Gregory, previously of XTC, who has all the Firebirds. And
we're going to do a Firebird show. The Firebird pickup is something extraordinary paired with that guitar.
So, as we've said many times, not the same as a Gibson Mini Humbucker.
No.
Not the same as the P90. Different thing.
Different thing.
Yeah.
They are extraordinary paired with that guitar. And Dave's got them all in the various forms. So
I'm looking
have a go.
looking forward to that because admission time, I have never played a proper one in anger.
Seriously.
Yeah, I've played plenty of Firebirds, but I've never cranked one and twanged in the way that it should be.
I think so. With the
If you
live
can hear the dog
gigs,
barking, that's Rosie.
with the live gigs we used to do in Tin Spirits, I think the Firebird was at least half of the numbers Dave would have a Firebird, one of several. But at the end of the night, we would play. It's a classic X66 song that come to me, but Dave's solo at the end, which would, he'd just build up this incredible solo on a Firebird, and it's something that we always look forward to. Yeah. So the tones he got out of that Firebird paired with his old Matchless.
Let's do it.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Nice. Penalted Bumhucker says, cheers, mates. I have a 5F to Princeton.
Nice.
Tweed with an 8-inch speaker. I want to try a dry wet setup with a higher headroom amp. Any tips in which direction I should go?
That's going to be the dry 8-inch speaker. They didn't have any speaker. Well, amazing. Yeah, I mean, you can pair, if that's your dry amp, you can pair anything that's got a bit more headroom with that and use that as a wet amp and you'd be golden.
It's such a specific sound. Small speaker, small box Tweed is such a specific sound. The only thing that you probably wouldn't pair it with is something the same.
Right.
So you could go to something like a Pro Junior, which is, if we go like 8-inch speaker, small box Tweed, what are we talking about there? Mid-range, pushed, boxy. Next step up from there is probably something like a Pro Junior, has some of those characteristics we were talking about, but is bigger. Next step up from there would be a Blues Junior, or even bigger, a deluxe reverb. So again, we get more bass and treble frequencies, more bass response, bigger box, just fill out some of the lows and highs that for instance, not mainly focused on. Once you start getting above deluxe reverb, I think there's such a mismatch in the power of the amps, it would be a weird experience in terms of the kind of headroom characteristics.
Absolutely, but it all depends on how you're using it. So if you look at Phil X's setup, so he's got his 100-watt Phil X Friedman amplifier, and then on top of that he sticks his little Greer. It might be an 8-inch, it might be a 10-inch, I'm not sure, but it's like a 5-watt amp. And he says whenever he has a new sound guy, he plays a Friedman and it's just epic. So then he puts the Greer on, and it's like the sound guy says, "What are you going to do with that?" And he says, "Well, now mix them together."
Yeah.
And it's like one of those frequencies, sitting with that massive, it's like, wow.
Well, that's not entirely dissimilar to Brian May and the DQ.
There you go.
However, that's not wet dry.
No, it's not wet dry. It's a different thing.
That is biamped, isn't it? That's the equivalent of a biamped thing. It's like this is doing all those frequencies and that's doing all those frequencies.
Sure.
Whereas with wet dry, it's more of a equitable relationship.
But you could make a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
So
I guess it's try it. Depending on what volume you're running in that, it doesn't really make a difference. But I'd look at something. I would actually go Pro Junior if I had to put my money on the table.
The Pro Junior was what we played at Mike's, right?
Yeah.
Plugged into the 4x12.
10-inch 15 watts.
Man.
Yeah, it's good. I actually prefer it to the Blues Junior in many respects.
Cool.
Yeah. Good. Jeremy Watercotter. Jeremy says, happy Tuesday, gents. Any experience with top hat amps? I just put in an order for a Super Deluxe. This 33-watt Class A amp that can take EL34s, 6L6s, or 6V6s. That sounds pretty cool.
So a very good friend of mine had an AC-15 style amp, top hat amp. Best
7 1/4.
amp I've ever heard. Really extraordinary sound quality, mega build quality. Yeah, those guys really know what they're doing. So yeah, I'm sure it will be wonderful.
Yeah. Well,
It's all very, very serious.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've never played them personally, but once you're at that level,
Yeah.
you're in a very rarefied airspace. Yeah.
It's very good.
Hope you like it, Jeremy. I hope you like it. Jolly Willard, hello Jolly.
Hey, Jolly.
He says, Happy New Year, guys. Dan, the Kincaid Guitar Series was so special. Thank you and Johnny for putting your heart and soul into the project and for the 45 episodes. Play that beautiful guitar.
I do every day. And every time I pick it up, I can't quite believe that I am its custodian.
Have you changed the strings yet?
No. I haven't touched it. I just want to play it.
What's on it, you know?
No idea. Whatever Johnny puts on. I've got. Thing is, it's on the wall of my office, and every morning I walk in and pick it up and I just play a chord. And I can sit there, just an E chord, going, this is the most ridiculous thing. Just the experience of playing a really simple, all the harmonics are vibrating through your body, going, this is the best way to start playing. It's great. I will change the string, but I just don't need to at the moment because it's so interesting. The guitar is changing so much day to day at the moment.
Yeah, we should capture some of that.
Yeah, we will. So I'm going to do another in another month or so. Then I head back to Johnny, do an update. But it's so funny, the wood is sort of working out what it is now.
Yeah.
You know, it's extraordinary. Oh, just wow. But yeah, so the pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much.
Michael Gilberto, hello Michael. He says, inspired by Friday's show, I put a compressor between guitar and a gained up amp. Added a lot, including clean feedback, to using a guitar volume to manage the amount of OD. Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
That nice. Yeah. Rod Clark, hello Rod. He says, hello from California. The world lost a true legend yesterday with the passing of Alexander Howard Dumble. I thought it might be worth a few quid to hear your thoughts about his legacy and influence.
Yep. I guess the Dumble thing, you have a lot more experience than I, because you've played originals.
Yeah.
I've never seen an original.
Yeah, well, a lot of quite interesting. So we said at the top of the show, for anyone who doesn't know, Alexander Dumble, I think he liked to be referred to as
A lot more dirt on these boards than you think.
one of the very early high-end amp modders and builders out in the mid-60s. I think he worked for I think it's hard anyway. His amps became super sought after, and he was a real, from everything I have heard from people who knew him, he's a real oddball, but he was a real sweetheart. And his passion and his love for music was deep. Was deep. And the kind of players that he ended up working with and ended up playing his amps, I think he had a very, very decent connection with. That's a long time ago. A great book by Jesse Schwartz called The Dumble Book, which is, goes through a lot of the classic amps, lots of nice pictures. Anyway, so users of both Dumble amps include people like Robin Ford, Larry Johnson, John Mayer, Lowell George, David Lindley. Many others. Many others. Michael Landau. Lots of my favourite guitar players as it goes. And not forgetting Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, there you go. And I didn't know it at the time, but being such a colossal Stevie Ray fan in my teens, I had no idea he played a Dumble. I mean, I just thought he played a Fender Twin, because the internet didn't exist then. And then later I find out that he plays this amp, the Steve Ray Singer, and lots of the guitar tones that I really loved down the years are the result of Dumble amplifiers. And so yeah, he obviously was tuned in a really connected way to guitar players and how they. What I think, because to say the Dumble sound is a little bit misleading, because there were a few different models over the years, and the model that everyone always thinks about is the Overdrive Special. That changed a lot over the years as well. And then you've got the clean ones like the Steel String Singer and the Dumble Land. And
they're different amp to amp, right? And sort of tweak them for the players.
Yeah. Yeah, to a point. We think so. Right, I say we, the world believes that's how it works. I interviewed Michael Landau once, and he said just what a sweet guy he was, just a lovely guy he was. And then you hear other tales that he was an oddball. I've seen some correspondence of how you go about buying an amp, and the flipping letters and the correspondence that went back and forwards between customers and him was astonishing, really. Anyway, I think his mark on the amplifier world is indelible. It's just, and the guitar tone world, and we're all born, we all die. It goes around, and that's how it goes. And he'll go down in history as someone who's made a massive contribution to guitar tone. And I think chiefly, for me anyway, for what it's worth, his legacy is enabling guitar players to express themselves. If you think about all those players I just mentioned, none of them sound the same.
No,
they all sound like them in a massive way. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks to him for that, and thanks to all the players who make his amp sound so great. The prices are insane. If a used one comes up, it's like lottery win money.
Yep.
But that's what you get from rarity.
Indeed.
I was just reading it, I think he built, in the book anyway, the book says he made less than 30 steel string singers.
Yeah.
So, can people copy the circuits? Well, they're good. Can modern amp builders look at the amps and rebuild them? Yeah, probably. Are there things out there that sound as good? Yeah, probably. But he was a true artist.
Yeah.
He did what he did and nothing else. And I love that.
Yeah.
He wasn't copying anybody. He has really different ideas about things. So very, very strongly built cabinets, EV speakers. Bear in mind it was late 60s through the 70s and into the 80s where stage volumes were insane. So it was about volume and clarity and all of those things. Yeah. Anyway, I could talk about all of that for hours.
He did say, reading that book before, one of the things he said was, a lot of great amp builders out there know about technicality oftentimes, but it takes something different than the artistry of it. So he's definitely an artist in that sense. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Scott Gaylor says, I was able to play about half a dozen of his amps over the years. Always very different, but all were amazing in their own right. Yeah. LA3 Music says, Mr. Dumble also did the Fender Bandmasters that Eric Clapton tours with and tweaked them to sound like PC or Set 7. Bjorn Lodvar Larsen says, 2-Rock was basically started to make affordable Dumble style amps. Yeah, I think that's a contraction of it. I think Bill Crinard and Joe Loganowski in the early days, certainly that was a big part of their inspiration. Things have moved on now, but yeah, absolutely, and lots of other people sprung up around it. And that's how I ended up at 2-Rock. That's why they're my favourite amps, because the players got Shatman 2. Sublime to the ridiculous. Shatman 2 says, why do some people think John Mayer is a great guitarist? I've listened to his albums and I went to a show. It boggles me that he's considered an interesting or skilled guitarist. I don't really know what to say to that show. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
And that's okay. It's okay not to like stuff.
Yeah, but to not appreciate that he's not a good guitar player is. On Room for Squares, that
excellent guitar.
Yeah. Brett Tozzy, greetings from Maryland. First, thanks for helping me to keep the black dog at bay. We hear you. How would I go wet dry using a
Not impossible. There's quite a bit of routing and stuff to do. So,
but you just can't you do it in the same way that we do with your switches? No, but if with G2, for example, we'd have to use one of the loops to do the split.
that's what I'm trying.
So it's giant. No, he's saying wet dry. No, it's called
Oh, sorry. Yes, in that sense, what you need to do is put a splitter in one of the loops. So you think of the signal path, and you choose all the effects that you want to go to both amplifiers, and then the loop after those effects, you put a splitter in. One side goes back into the looper, and the other side goes off to the amplifier that you want to keep what we call dry. So let's say you have your gain tones going to both amplifiers. And then the signal from the splitter that goes back into the looper is then fed back into the wet effects. And then from there, that will go into the wet amplifier. Important to be able to isolate the signal that goes to the dry amplifier and flip the phase so that you get them properly in phase.
Yeah.
But that's quite a simple way to do it.
Dan makes a unit called the Humdinger that will do that. In addition to that, you could use any ABY switcher that has gram lift on one of the outputs and phase reversal possibility. If you're at all confused, go back through the video list for that pedal show. Anything we've done on wet dry, this is going to take you a few minutes, but call up the video, open up the description, and in the description there'll be a list of timings for things that happen in the video, and somewhere there it will say diagrams on one of those videos, and there will be diagrams in those videos that will highlight that for you. It doesn't matter what type of switcher you use. If it's a single, if it's a loop switching device, the theory is exactly the same. So whether it's one control, one of Dan's ones, a Boss one, or anything else, if it doesn't have parallel split in the unit itself, which most of them don't, you need to do what he just said, add the splitter into one of the loops, which also means that loop has to be on all the time.
Yes.
Good luck.
Good luck, mate.
Elusive Moose. About this hoose says, greetings.
It's a goose.
I'd love to see you try two Boss OD3s versus a Noble's ODR1. Similar EQ, but I think Mick will find the slightly more focused mid-range in the Boss better for his strats. Pretty please.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe. I like the Nobles, but it's a great thing. But there's many other overdrive pedals I would choose before it. So
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, to be fair, what I generally like is 2 ODs stacked, and
Yeah.
as long
You
as
can get
one's sort of boosty and one's sort of mid humpy, I can work with that.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I did for many years elusive. I did use 2 yellow gloss overdrives, whatever was available at the time. That was my rig before I really got into pedals. So yeah, I'm with you on the 2 stacked yellow overdrives. Don't know if I ever had 2 OD3s. Definitely had an SD1 and an OD3 and other combinations there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SD1's that's great.
Knee ends.